a handmade shoe made in America that's custom fitted to my foot. And it only cost me $40. Are you intrigued? Well, keep watching to find out what it is. To sum up how you can get a bespoke-like shoe at a fraction of the cost is simply you buy a shoe that's too narrow for your feet, you stretch the shoe, and then you wear the shoe as the leathers form to your foot. I mean, that's it. But really, there is so much more to it. There is the selection of the shoe, what size shoe you should get, how to treat the shoe, and many more things that we're gonna go over in this video. If you're looking for just the how-to, you can go to this time mark and I'll start the how-to. But first, I'm gonna discuss a little bit of the intricacies that come with doing this process. In the past, while down a rabbit hole in YouTube, I saw a cobbler do this. I've only seen one video of this actually being done, where they take a shoe that is too narrow and on purpose, they stretch it and then they let the leather form around the person's foot. And so I tried this and I really had good success with it. It started with this pair of shoes right here. These are the Grayson loafers, and just a little story behind this pair is I bought my dad his first pair of Allen Edmonds, and I went to the store, bought him first quality loafers. That's his style. And I thought, I want a pair to match his, but I don't really want to pay the full price for them. So I found this pair of shoes on eBay for $20. They're a vintage pair of Grayson loafers, and they were really in good condition. The soles had barely been worn. Now I've beaten them up since. The leather footbed inside was great, but because it was an A width, I got it super cheap. So I thought, let me try this experiment, see how it works, and see if it's really worth it. Well, I did this whole process that we're going to talk about in this video, and now this shoe fits bespoke to my foot. It's super comfortable. There's no loose leather, and it's the perfect fitting shoe. So for $20 in this case, I got a nice pair of shoes that fits me perfectly. So the first thing you have to do is you have to identify what size shoe you need to get. I am in Allen Edmonds. I wear a 13D, so that's the standard width. Now, if you want to see more about my sizing, you can see a past video I've done. But long story short, I can wear a C width too. I like C width shoes. They're just a little bit narrower. They fit me a little bit better, but the Allen Edmonds salesperson is going to tell me to go to a D width. So what I've tried is a B width. I get a 13B width. These were 13As, and it took everything to get these stretched. So I really wouldn't recommend that. You can try that if you're adventurous. But for the safe bet, what you do is go 2 steps lower with your width, or thinner with your width. So I'm a 13D, you get a 13B. What that's going to do is it's not going to change the sole as much with the shoe, but it's going to change how much leather is on the top. And to give you an example of this, this is my first pair of Allen Edmonds ever. I have beaten this pair up, and it's a 13D. I bought the recommended size. Let me make sure I'm filming here. Perfect. Had a minor heart attack for a second. And if you look at this, they're really the same width. The soles are almost identical, but the big difference comes in how much leather is used in the upper. Let me see if I'm in frame. This has a lot less leather, and this one's just a little bit more bulbous. There's more leather here. Even in the cut here, it's a little bit thinner than this one. This one's a little bit flatter. So this is a very comfortable shoe, and it's an easy shoe. You just buy it, you wear it, you use it forever, and it's great. Take care of it. But by going to the B width, I'm getting essentially the same sole size. I'm just getting a tighter fit up top. Now, if I put this shoe on, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be way too tight right here. And that's why we're going to stretch it, and we're going to make it perfect. So let's talk a minute about finding the right shoe. What I would recommend is going on eBay. You have your size now. You're going narrower than you would normally, and find the best condition shoe in that size. You can simply type in the size, type in the price you want to pay, and find the best shoe in that size. Now, I deal with Allen Edmonds. I just love Allen Edmonds. They're my favorite shoe company by far. I have lots of other shoes, but I don't know. I'm a fanboy of Allen Edmonds. So I just use them. I know with them what I'm getting. But what I look for are these vintage pairs, right? Because they're built really well. They're just a little bit more finished. You can find some of these vintage pairs that are slimmer, right? The narrower width, that are barely used because either someone bought them, they bought the wrong width, or they just didn't use them, they weren't comfortable. But if you look hard enough, this is a lightly worn shoe I got for $40. All the stitches are intact. It's a little bit scuffed up. The footbed is in great condition. I did shove my foot in there. There is no crazy curling of the footbed. And it's a little bit of a gamble, right? Because sometimes they don't show you the picture of the footbed. But for $40, I know I could flip this shoe, restore it, and sell it again. But it really turned out great. So you just want to look for a good quality shoe in that narrower width. If you can get vintage, that's great. You can also go to Allen Edmonds and buy a brand new shoe. If you get good at this, and I've seen people do this, that cobbler video I told you about at the beginning of the video, that was a brand new shoe. Someone paid full price for a shoe. They got it narrow and then they stretched it to fit. So you can do that too, but this is more how you can do it for a fraction of the cost. So now what I'm going to get into is how I actually do it and the process and a couple of different ways that you can do it depending on what equipment you have. Now, here are the things that you'll need to get started. First, you have your shoe stretchers. I bought those on Amazon. They're pretty affordable. These will only get you 3 or 4 stretches though. If you want to do more than that, buy a better wooden kind. I have 2 cheap shoe horns. I'll show you how I use these. Of course, the shoes, and then some denatured alcohol. You'll mix that with 50% water, 50% denatured alcohol, and that's what's going to help stretch the uppers. And of course, the infamous spin bike handle. You'll see why I need that in a moment. Here we go. Here's the moment of truth. I'm making it seem more stressful than it really is. We'll move this shoe out of the way. Keep the laces in. You want to hold the Oxford tight and closed. That's how you're going to stretch the needed parts. You don't want this to flare open and crease there. Now, you do want to watch. You know how a Goodyear welted shoe is made. You have the gimming and the welt. You don't want to tighten it so much that you blow this out. So it's a bit of a gamble. As a non-professional, I recommend trying this out on some used eBay shoes before you buy a brand new shoe. But what we're going to do is I have the 50% denatured alcohol and water in here, and we're going to soak the inside of the shoe and the outside, especially where we want it to stretch. As you likely know, there's a hard counter in here. You're not going to get any stretching out of here. Again, it's just right here over this the instep. You want to stretch it. Insert the shoe stretcher. I'm a size 13, so I kind of have to max out these stretchers. What I do is I get it to where it's snug lengthwise, and then I'll start stretching because I want it right there. The majority of the stretch right here across the shoe. So get it there. Now I'll just start stretching the shoe. You can see it. See it bulge here? The main part is hitting right here. I want to move it forward just a little bit. So I'll do that like so. And we'll start stretching again. Well, it's a little bit tight. You can see it's a little tight. It's bulging over here. That's good. You want to see that. I'm going to insert my shoehorn. So what that shoehorn is going to do is, as this is stretching, it's opening up, it's widening out, and the shoehorn is going to be pushed up a little bit. And that's going to help with this spot right here. This is a key spot that needs to be stretched on a narrower shoe to make it more comfortable. So I'll go ahead and insert the shoehorn. You can see it pop up. So now you have a little farther. So now I have support right here with the shoe horn, and the width is being stretched. And I'll start stretching some more. So it's getting stretched out. So right now it's a little bit tough for me to turn it, and I want it more than that. I want it stretched more than that. I'm totally fine with how much that's being stretched, because you want it to stretch more and then it to compress to the size of your shoe, and that's where we get the key. So when it's hard to turn this thing, because it's binding up in there, I simply put it around my spin bike and spin it. That gives me more leverage. I'm able to get a couple more spins out of it. So now, look how fat that shoe is. Of course, it's not going to stay like this. That's exactly what we want. Right there. Now here they are both stretched out. Now I know my right foot needs a little bit more help. It's a little bit wider, so I stretch this one out a little bit more. And this one I can keep a little bit easier on the shoe. But since I put that alcohol mixture on the shoe, what I will do is I'll condition the spots that are stretching before I go to store them. It's way too much conditioner. Oh my goodness. Now I don't know if this is needed, but I don't want the leather to dry out. And maybe that helps with the stretching process. Once this is done drying, you can buff it if you'd like, but what you're gonna wanna do is just store these. Store these for several days. I mean, I like to put them under my bed so I don't even have to look at them, because I'll be tempted to be impatient and try to rush the process. So at least 24 hours, but I like to wait 3 to 4 days with them in this configuration before we move on to the next step. All right, I've gotten my shoes. They've been stretched out. They've been sitting for a couple of days, and here is the next step. It's really easy. All you have to do is take all the stuff out of the shoe, find yourself a nice pair of wool socks, just thick socks. You can even double up your socks if you don't have anything like this. I'm living in the Midwest right now, so I have some thick wool socks. I'll basically put those wool socks on, put my foot into the shoe, which it will be a little tight, right? Because we normally wouldn't wear this type of sock with this type of shoe. And you basically just spend a day on the shoes. What will happen is the leather has memory. So leather is going to go back to what it remembers. But where your foot is, it won't, basically. It's going to stretch back and kind of conform around your foot. And as you're walking in this, and this is a crucial day, you have to take these out and put your feet in them. It's going to conform to your foot. So basically, there's nothing else left to do. You just wear the shoes and try to wear them all day. Plan out a long day when you're gonna have your shoes on. If you just wear your shoes a couple hours at a time, that won't be enough. It has to be 8 hours plus, and just wear the shoes. When you're done wearing the shoes that day, that's when you might want to condition, cream, polish, do all that, and you'll have that really nice bespoke shoe. So what I'll do is I'm going to wear these, and then we'll kind of fix them up and we'll see how they turned out. All right, so I conditioned them. I put 2 coats of shoe cream on them, black shoe cream, and then I put some wax on the toe, and I'm blown away with how these came out. These came out so unbelievably nice. I'm really happy with it. And I wore the shoe all day, and it just, you could feel it getting more comfortable as the day progressed, and it just turned out perfect. I am super happy with these. I'll have some beauty shots at the end of the video, but these are amazing. I really picked a good shoe, and I kind of got lucky. I was just looking for something fast on eBay, paid $40 for this, and this vintage pair of Chesters really turned out well. I thought it was corrected grain leather, but it's not. And the footbed wasn't worn at all, so it still needs some time for me to wear in my footprint, but it's just amazing. You can really see how cut it is right here. What I'll do, actually, in just a moment in the video, you'll see a regular 13D Allen Edmonds black shoe next to these, and you're really going to see the difference. But I have to tell you, wearing a shoe like this that really is molded around your foot, where the uppers are really molded around your foot, it makes you feel different. It's like wearing a perfectly tailored suit. It really gives you more confidence really than it should, honestly. But these just turned out amazing. And can you believe the cost of this shoe was $40, and then just the time and effort I put into it. And I wasn't even planning on keeping these. I have a pair of shell cordovan shoes similar to this, Allen Edmonds, but I think I'm going to keep these. These just turned out so amazing, and I just love them, right? The vintage aspect of it is great. Look at this heel. I mean, really, they don't do this anymore. It's a shame, but it's a beautiful, beautiful shoe. So I'll show you some differences looking at another pair of shoes, and you can really see the difference. But I mean, unbelievably comfortable. So B, that's the sweet spot. I'm a 13D. Going to that B width is perfect for this. And I just look forward to wearing these now. I'm looking for opportunities to wear these more. They're just so comfortable and so nice looking. On the left, I have the first pair of Allen Edmonds I've ever owned. And these are nice. I didn't really take care of them that much, but they're really good shoes. But they're 13Ds, and these are the ones I just worked on. So first of all, I want to show you what I think is the coolest thing about doing this bespoke-like shoe. If I take something straight and I go here and I go down, you can see how much room is left there, how much it cuts in for the shoe. Now on the new pair I just did, look at the difference. It's almost twice as much space that cuts in. It just looks so nice, so elegant. Look at the difference there. It's because remember, this was already tighter. We stretched this out. It's now conformed around my foot, and it just looks so awesome. I still love these shoes, but they're just nothing in comparison to these. Now we'll look at the side of the shoe. You can see how there's just not a lot of room here. It's all very tight. It's stretched out, right, like we did, and the angle here is just more dramatic to where you come here and it's just a little bit flatter and steady, like a ramp that goes through. So I mean, this is a fine shoe, but not nearly as elegant with buying this shoe and having it stretched. Oh, and look at this angle too. So you can just see how much less leather was used to get that narrower width, but now that I've stretched it out to more like a D width, look how elegant that shoe is. I mean, this really turned out amazing. So I'm really happy with this. Please let me know if you have any questions about this process. I might have missed a lot of things, but this turned out better than I could have ever expected. And this vintage pair of Allen Edmonds is really, really a pretty shoe too. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.